Evening, everyone. I'm Professor McCoy, and welcome back. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords. As I've been indicating and hinting and all that, we are wrapping up the part of this game having to do with the Mandalorians, or at least the first part having to do with the Mandalorians. There's a little bit more having to do with them in a little bit. And hopefully, we are getting towards Onderon. Actually getting to Onderon proper, going across the little gulf between the moon, which we're on now, and Onderon. I should note as well, we're on Dxun, which is Onderon's moon. I mentioned this before, and I just have to mention it again because I find it utterly fascinating, an utterly fascinating bit of I guess world building, I suppose you'd say. That Dxun and Onderon apparently share an atmosphere.
We've called off our patrols outside the camp. We usually find some entertainment in clearing out the worst of the beasts. But without our patrols, some of the larger beasts may be around. None of us will be around to bail you out of trouble. You've been warned. Our sensors picked up 3 ships landing in this area after the space battle. If any of the Onderon military come searching for those ships, we don't want them finding our base.
3 ships. There's my ship and the Duros ship. Who was the third?
I don't know. It was some sort of freighter. It didn't land in any of the clearings along the path. Knowing some of the larger Dxun beasts, the crew's probably already dead.
Okay, fine. Why are you hiding from the Onderon military?
The people of Onderon still live in fear of us. They were the first world we conquered in the Mandalorian Wars. Their resistance was laughable. We cut through their defenses like vibroblades through cloth. ISIS fell within hours. If they knew we were here, they would eventually gather enough courage to attack us. It is not a battle we wish to wage.
Yet. Hello. A little windy. Yeah, the atmosphere thing, which I don't think that's astronomically possible, but it's really cool. It's cool in concept. Because it provides the opportunity for what you would call early space flight. Really, it's not space. Onderon is also home of the Beast Riders, which are people who tame and ride these massive, dangerous animals from Onderon's wilds, including some flying ones. And so they can fly through this little atmosphere bridge between Onderon and Dxun. At least I think it might only be in parts of their orbit or something like that. But the atmosphere is just sort of shloop together parts of their orbit and can fly between them, which is insanity. Is there anyone else on the moon?
Who knows? Our relay dish is down, and until Zuka repairs it, we're blind. The Onderon military has cordoned off the planet, so there shouldn't be anybody else down here. Still, our sensors occasionally pick up signals on the surface. It's like someone is searching the planet, and doing so under the noses of the military. Whoever they are, they've stayed clear of us.
Why would they search the planet?
I don't know. Dxun's all jungle except for this camp.
And I help with that relay dish.
If you want to pitch in, go ahead. Zuka hasn't been able to get the damn thing up and running. You can find him in the eastern side of camp, just south of the hangars. Look for the sparking wires, and he won't be far.
What do you mean by larger beasts?
We heard reports of a Zakheg wandering the paths around here. They're a good challenge for Mandalorians. If you see one, stay out of its way. Without us to back you up, you'll be dead in seconds.
So what is a Zakheg?
It's a huge red lizard that's built like a Baragwin battle tank. It has a hide so thick it might as well be Durasteel plating. We keep clearing them out of the area, but they keep coming back. They're tough opponents for non-Mandalorians.
I can defeat it.
You fight a Zakek? If you survived such a battle, you'd gain much honor.
We'll see. I'll be back after I've defeated one.
Strong words. It would be amusing to see you try to kill such a beast. Try the outlying jungle paths if you're determined to seek one out. And bring me back a trophy from your kill as proof of the deed.
Alright. Okay, I can try that out. Let's head out. Into the jungle. I guess back into the jungle. Alright, here's those Mandos. There's a...
You finally arrived, Jedi. I seek to reclaim the honor that you stole from me. I challenge you here, outside of the battle circle. This time, we fight to the death.
Many Mandalorians have fallen to Jedi. There's no dishonor in that.
You would deny my request? I want to fight here, in front of other Mandalorians, to prove my worth. Do not shame me further.
You lost to me already. Why fight again?
I was too young to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. With our clans scattered, there was no opportunity to prove myself. Years ago, young Mandalorians would fly point in a basilisk, laying waste to anything before them, at the forefront of battle. But this has been denied me. What little honor I have earned, you stripped from me in the battle circle. This I won't allow.
Fine.
Now you face a true Mandalorian on the field of battle.
Yeah, I do. Go to sleep, Mandalorian. Sorry, dude. Well, I feel like I should have denied him, but it's what he wanted. It really was what he wanted. It wasn't just like, well, he thought he wanted it, but no, he was ready and raring. And Master Rebuttal. Sorry, guys. I really genuinely did not mean to murder the guy. I was hoping, actually I was kind of hoping that it would give me a chance to
That's another one for me. That's another one for me.
You have left me an opening!
Like that? At last, in action.
Okay. Another one? Alright. Alright, so lately what I've been now over Thanksgiving break, because we are off this week, as I learned later than I thought I would. I only found out last week that we didn't have class tomorrow. They're off the full Thanksgiving week. And throughout a lot of that, I'm doing some grading catch-up. Catching up on grading some late assignments, that sort of thing. Because there are some late assignments to catch up on.
That's another one for me.
I have a good number of those to catch up on, so I've been doing a lot of that over these last couple of days.
opening! You have left me an opening!
That's another one for me.
So, anyway, I've got, so I've actually been going back through some old assignments lately. So I've been going back and rereading old reading notes. I've been going back and rating some of the, like I said, the late submissions for the first paper on Proofs for God's Existence. And I must say, late assignments do not tend to be the best.
That's
There
another
are
one for
rare
me.
exceptions to
You
that.
have left me an opening!
Like when there's a very good
That's
reason
another
for
one
somebody
for
turning
me.
something in late, like, you know, death in the family, or, you know, other kinds of serious, severe personal issues, or in a couple of cases, you know, academic or university sports related things like that. There's a really good reason for it. Sometimes late work can actually be decently good. That's rare. That does tend to be rare. Usually, work that is turned in late tends to be the lowest quality, and that hasn't quite held true. There's been some not so great ones, but there's been some actually really good ones.
What are you doing out here?
I've been pleasantly surprised for the
Dangerous
most
for
part.
your kind.
Well, not for the most part, but at least partially. I've been pleasantly surprised. Why are you here? I thought all patrols had stopped.
I am a Mandalorian scout. I don't go on patrol. Mandalore sent me out here personally to track a ship that landed in the area.
There's Duro's bounty hunter ship deeper in the jungle.
No, it wasn't them. That ship was damaged and screaming its ID signature all the way down. This one was trying to slip in quietly, and it was keeping its eye on emissions to a minimum. Our sensors almost didn't pick it up.
Trying to be stealthy, huh? Oh yeah, tonight I've got an Elysian Dark of the Moon pumpkin stout. Good. Real tangy. Real that almost bitter stout flavor. What have you found?
Just this corpse here. Looks like a scout, and pretty green, too. The fool walked right into a group of Canucks and got torn apart.
Whoever these visitors are, they don't know their terrain very well.
He can't have been the only one crawling around here. If there's more, we need to take them out. You up for some action?
Take them out. Why?
We can't let them find the camp, if that's what they're looking for. We need to track them down and make sure their trip here is real short.
I may be able to help. What's the plan?
There's more of these scouts in the jungle. There's many paths, and I don't want them to slip by.
If we spot any scouts, we'll need to take them out fast before they can warn their companions.
If we split up, we should be able to find their scouts, if you're up for it.
I am. Let's find them.
I'm going to take up a position to the east.
Can help these
You go
guys out.
west. I'll make sure none of them get past me.
Mending wounds from the past. Uh-oh. Bot. Good kill, America. Good kill.
What happened to Lon?
He got swarmed by those little beasts. I think they're called Canox.
I hope this mission is worth it. If not... Wait, did you hear that?
That's her! Get her!
That's who? No. Yeah, that was pretty quick, alright. Repeating rifle. This appears to be... This looks to me like it's the nest of some very large, very hungry creature. But maybe not. Could be wrong.
Set the staging camp up here. This jungle just never ends.
Lieutenant, 2 of our scout patrols haven't reported back.
Do more? Nothing is worth this.
More beasts!
Everyone, attack!
There we go. Grenade. Alright. Is that all of them? Let's see. Level up. So, there's something else I've been, that's been on my mind. There's been there's a comment on one of my videos a while ago that I think I want to respond to. It was on the video for Anselm's De Casu Diaboli, so on the Fall of the Devil. Not finesse. It's pretty strong. He's all the way dual wielding, yeah. Let's go with Jedi defense. Yeah. Regular old stun. Oh, another one. Oh, I can do better stun. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's so there's comment on De Casu Diaboli, and it's been a bit of a back and forth discussion here on one particular point, which I take to be a really central point in the dialogue. But because it's such a central point, part of what that necessarily will mean is that it needs to be that central point needs to be supported by a lot of other things going on in the text, and some of that isn't perfectly clear. And so I think I'm going to try to summarize both the issue that the commenter was seeing, which is, I think, a genuine issue, at least potentially. We're just not going to be using melee for a while. Oh. Never mind. Weapon focus blaster pistols. Yeah, she's going to be using pistols quite a bit. Alright, so,
Anything you need of me?
so this is the section that I referred to quite a lot. And I've referred to in several different places as well. Whether that's on live streams, whether that is in other videos, or in this lecture series in particular. And this is chapter. Actually, I have the book. Chapter 6 of De Casu Diaboli. And this is where Anselm lays out how and why the angels' eternal destinies are secured. Why they're eternal, in other words. So, functionally, what that means is why the good angels cannot turn away from God, and why the fallen angels cannot be redeemed. Detonator, huh? Boom. I love it. Oh, well, hello. Interesting.
I don't like the sound of that. I think you've just stirred up a Minot nest.
I did. And so it's worth noting that the important part, or the most important part, of that little bit of the dialogue is not the precise mechanics of the choice being laid out. Am I loud enough? I hope the sound isn't too much.
You have left me an opening!
So, like I said, it's worth noting that the most important part of this aspect of the dialogue is not the precise mechanics of the options available, but the choice that the angels made for their falling and their not falling. Rather, the most important aspect of it is that there reasonably could have been a choice made Oh, good. Such that upon making it, the choice is immutable. It's irreversible.
Let's move out.
This is controversial. I mean, maybe obviously, but this is actually pretty highly controversial because it seems like the question has long arisen, and this is actually a significant point of contention between East and West, for example, as to whether or not
Something you need of me?
I'm good to go.
Oh boy. As to whether or not Satan and the other devils can be saved by any means. And the West has long said no. But there has always been a tradition following Origin of Alexandria in the East, which suggests that it is in fact possible for God to save the demons. Now, there have been some Western theologians who have thought it were possible, but false. That the demons are damned for eternity, but they needn't be. God can, in fact, save any individual fallen angel. Aquinas thought as much, for that matter. Thought that it was at least possible for God to save any given angel, although it would require a lot more than the salvation of human beings. For example, because unlike human beings, the fallen angels, or the angels in general, do not share a nature like human beings do. Human beings share a nature. We're all the same kind of creature. Because we're all the same kind of creature, God can take on human nature in the person of Christ, and therefore be and can redeem human nature as such, and can therefore redeem all of us in one once and for all act, right? The sacrifice of Christ, etc., etc. Aquinas argued that because angels are each of them an individual species, each angel is its own species. They do not share a common essence. What that would mean, and he had his reasons for thinking this, which are complicated, and I won't get into it, but he did have solid reasons for thinking this that I'm not sure if they hold up, but regardless, let's take this for granted for the moment. If that is the case, and each angel is its own species, so to speak, in the relevant context, what that would mean is that God would not be able to take on angelic nature, but take on the individual nature of each angel. I'm gonna bash it. Oh, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Ready?
You have left me an opening!
Okay, that wasn't that hard. Should have seen that coming, but wasn't that bad. Okay, anyway, that was fun. I'm really glad I have the Destroy Droid maxed up.
I am ready.
I'm good to go.
Impossible. What?
A little harder than I thought. Stand back. A little harder than I thought.
What? Who has better security? Oh. Oh. Really?
I am
Let's move
ready.
out.
You have better demolitions.
Let's leave this right here.
Okay. So. So anyway, if Anselm's point, though, is that he's trying to show how it can be impossible, how it can in some way be impossible for for the fallen angels to unfall, basically, to be redeemed. And the way that he sets this out is he puts forward the possibility that that the choice made against God, the choice to turn away from God, is such as to put the fallen angels in such a position that any choice that they would subsequently make could only be against God, without it being arbitrary on God's part. And I think that is the apparent arbitrariness of this sort of trap. I think that apparent arbitrariness is where the commenter has gotten caught up, because I think it does seem to be the case that God is acting arbitrarily and even capriciously or cruelly here, by preventing Satan and the devils from returning, from redeeming themselves, from turning back towards God. Now, of course, I would disagree with this for a couple of reasons. This is a very interesting question, I will say, since the main rationale that Ansem has for putting forward this argument is because of this concern, right? This concern that God's damning of fallen angels is entirely arbitrary, etc. I'm going to turn down game volume a little bit. It is kind of loud for everybody, especially sound effects. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. So anyway, yeah,
That's another one for me.
I think that it's an interesting question, primarily because the reason Ansem has for writing this entire dialogue, really, is about the apparent determinism in predestination, in God choosing to save or damn people, right? Because there is this temptation to something like, oh, here's the big red thing.
Wait a moment. Do you see that blur?
Oh, never mind.
The Force flows through even these simple creatures. If you empty your mind, you may be able to feel its thoughts.
Interesting.
They are fully formed, basic instincts, urges, dominated by every breath and every moment, primal and unsophisticated.
I feel it.
Good. Beasts can be easier to affect than other sentients. But
mean
you
than
must
sentience.
bridge the gap between what distinguishes us and them. You feel its consciousness, yes, like a low rumble before the storm. Use the Force to create a barrier around it. Make it with care and subtlety.
I'll try. Uh-oh. That didn't work. Oh boy. It seems mad at me.
Came close, and you have potential. With practice, you can make any animal passive and pliable. But the cage around their perceptions is a fragile thing. Many things can break its hold, violence especially.
Can anything else be done with beasts?
With the Force, anything is possible. But that is the end of the lesson for now.
Beast trick. I'm gonna try it again. I did it! Yay! Nah, let's move on. Hey!
That's another one for me.
I thought I was gonna be fine there, never mind. Alright, anyway. Anyway, moving on. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the concern here for Anselm, and for most people, I think, when encountering this issue of why are people saved, why are people damned, is the concern of something like not wanting to fall into something like Calvinist double predestination, not falling into this trap of God choosing, like actively choosing who is saved and who is damned, and it being arbitrary, being capricious. And I think the commenter is absolutely right that if that is the case, if God is found to be arbitrary and capricious in this way, then that is anti-Christian, first of all, but also unbefitting of God, especially as Anselm understands him to be, that than which no greater could be thought. And so I think this is a fair criticism and a fair concern, especially if it seems like God is setting up a scenario in which Satan cannot be redeemed, and it's only because of the way that the scenario is set up. Rather than something which is a natural consequence of the choice itself. If it's the natural consequence of the choice itself, that's maybe a different matter. That's not so arbitrary. There we go. Where did there he is. Jeez, come on, disciple. But yeah, if it is a sort of natural consequence, okay, then that seems like it's not so arbitrary. It's not so, frankly, it's not so evil of God. Yeah, man. Need that. In that case, we're not... Uh-oh. There's the thing. That looks terrifying. Probably not that terrifying. This is no Ogdo Bogdo.
That's another one from me. At last, it's action. That's another one from me.
This one is mine.
Like that?
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is no Ogdo Bogdo. Quick save though, just in case. Just in case it is.
That's another one from me.
Okay, that was not actually that hard at all. I mean, it helps that I'm over-leveled, but still. Ear. Looks like a bit of a goofy Gundark, honestly. Green crystal. Alright, hunting mask. Okay, cool. Anyway, so I do think, like as I said, I do think that there's a real concern here, and so it falls to the defender of Anselm to show how and why this is a natural consequence rather than an arbitrary imposition by God. And it has to do with what kind of choice is being presented, and why it's being presented. So the choice as presented, and this is again worth noting, a hypothetical. This is not Anselm saying this is in fact the choice with which the angels were presented at the moment of their creation. This is a way to demonstrate that such a choice, which has immutable consequences, is conceivable. It's logically possible. And so, this is God allows the angels to choose whether to pursue or reject some additional benefits to themselves that God otherwise will that they not have.
I am in need of your assistance.
At least not yet. Well, I'm going to finish talking at this point. Hold on, Kumas. I got to talk about something. So, God grants everything to the angels but one thing. Now, whatever this is, it doesn't quite matter. But it turns out to be a proposal for what it turns out to be is perseverance. It is security in one's salvation. So it is the inability to be pulled away from God's presence, from the perfect justice, etc. It is perseverance in goodwill. Perseverance in rectitude of the will, preserved for its own sake, and its justice, as in some winds up defining it. And so this is that one thing that is withheld from the angels from the outset. And so they're given the choice. They are told by God not to pursue this additional thing. This is very analogous to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the garden, and the temptation of Adam and Eve. And he's clearly drawing inspiration from that in Genesis. And there's even, as I mentioned in the lecture, there's even some speculation that this was the same temptation, but simultaneous. So it was the temptation of Satan and the temptation of Adam and Eve were the same temptation. It was just offered to men and to angels simultaneously, in the same way, and it affected each somewhat differently, but because of their different natures and their different choices. But I digress. Setting all that aside, God gives them everything except for this eternal perseverance, this eternal security, this absolute certainty of one's salvation. And so the angels are, and they don't know what this additional something is from the outset. They just know that it is something that will benefit them. And God says that, no, you cannot have this, or at least not yet. God wills them not to have it. And so they, the angels, are functionally presented with a choice. It's not like God is presenting them with a choice of, would you like to obey me, or would you like to deny me? It's not so much, I don't know why God is a 1940s radio announcer, but okay, let's just go with it. It's not like God is presenting them with this choice as a kind of, like an obvious test, or even as a test at all. What God is doing is God is providing them with being, and everything that could be attained by that being, aside from absolute perseverance, which is a gift that only God can provide anyway. And so the angels, just functionally speaking, have this choice. Do they try to pursue this additional thing on their own right, of their own accord, in defiance of God's will, because it will benefit them? Or do they intentionally, deliberately reject this additional something? Do they spurn this additional something, this additional absolute perseverance? Do they reject it because it's God's will and favoring God's will instead? And if they reject it by favoring God's will instead, God gives it to them anyway. He gives them absolute security and absolute perseverance, because that's the process of getting it, you see. Clever, though. Because, as it turns out, the unfallen angels, those who choose to reject this eternal security, this additional something, get it by nature of their rejecting it, because they have rejected the only temptation they could possibly have. They have no further temptation, and so now they have everything. There's nothing that could tempt them away from God, so their absolute will for advantage, for their own advantage, is perfectly aligned with their absolute will for justice, for obeying God. They're perfectly aligned. There can be no pulling apart of the two. Okay, this part's less controversial. This is relatively straightforward. It's pretty neat. The other side of it seems a little bit nasty. And this is the part where the commenter has an issue with it. Because by choosing to try and pursue this additional good on their own, the fallen angels, the angels that would fall, Satan and the devils, the demons, I suppose, whatever, by choosing to pursue this additional good, have to do so by rejecting justice, by rejecting God's will, because God has willed them not to pursue it. And by rejecting God's will, what that means is they are rejecting what God has already given them. They are turning away from it in pursuit of this additional thing, which, unbeknownst to them, but they should have known, and probably could have known, that they cannot achieve it of their own right, of their own accord. They're willing to be like God, by willing God's authority to to give this to themselves, onto themselves. They're willing God's authority to do so. So they're willing to be like God in this context. And so by willing to be like God in this context, they are rejecting that which God has given them. They're throwing it away. And so they lose, naturally, by giving it up. They lose everything good that they had. And they fail to obtain this additional something. And so now they have nothing but their own being. Nothing but their own being, and even that barely. Because their own being is now corrupted, because they now are, they only have, again, one choice. They can only choose to pursue that which is beneficial to them, having spurned justice, having thrown away the propensity for, the inclination towards, the will for, whatever you want to call it, the inclination to justice. Now, this part is tricky. As the commenters pointed out, that it seems as if they could still will justice, even if it were as a means for achieving advantage, that which would benefit them. However, it's worth noting, Anselm's argument here, which is, I admit, partial. It's only partial. This is expanded upon later by Duns Scotus primarily. Anselm's answer to this is that their will for advantage has been made contrary to justice fundamentally by willing that which they ought not to have, and by willing against what they ought to have. So, by willing against what they were originally given, they lose what they were originally given. And so, justice demands that they not have anything. So, if they were to will advantage, if they were to, say, repent of their primal sin, Anselm argues that this could only be for the sake of advantage. It could only be for the sake of winning back what they had lost and gaining what they did not have. And this means that they are still willing against God. They are still willing advantage rather than justice, even if they were to repent, simply by nature of what the act entails. The objector pointed out, the commenter pointed out that, well, could they not will justice as a means for advantage, but still will justice, even if it's as a secondary end? And Anselm says that no, they could not do so, because justice demands that they have nothing. Justice demands that they receive what they have asked for, which is nothing. They have rejected everything they had, and they pursued something which they could not obtain. And so justice demands that they receive that, which is they have nothing. So they cannot pursue anything that they do not have justly. So any will that they could have can only be for advantage. Even a will which is which seems to be pointed at justice, it's really pointing past justice towards advantage. Because justice would demand, right, if they were to will the just thing, it would have to be absolutely contrary to any advantage towards themselves. So they would will to be nothing. So you might say they can will annihilation. This is not something the objector pointed out, but this is a potential objection. Maybe they can will annihilation. They can will not only that they have nothing, but that they were to pass out of being as punishment enough for what they've received. Well, again, even this is either unjust, because God did not will to annihilate them, or by willing to receive nothing for the sake of justice, they then receive nothing for the sake of justice. And so even if the fallen angels repent, they have nothing. And they still have the temptation towards it. And so their absolute best case scenario is identical to that which they are in now, but with an inclination towards justice. Which, I mean, you can say that this is why we sometimes see Satan sort of working for God in the Old Testament. See the Book of Job, tempting, etc. And so maybe that's why that's how that works out. Then again, I don't think Anselm would like that answer, because it makes angels mutable and changing. It messes with their sempiternality, their relationship with time, their choices and interaction with time. So I don't think it could quite do that. I think there would fundamentally have to be that their choice to even if they were to choose justice qua the rejection of all that they do not have, in other words, the rejection of everything, it would still be a sort of turning in upon oneself, a kind of willing this nothing for the sake of gaining it, which is a sort of a disingenuous way of willing, at best, if it's even possible at all. So I think it would be something like that, as far as Anselm is concerned. Now, there's more to this, because in addition to what Anselm has written on the Fall of the Devil, Duns Scotus, a couple hundred years later, 300 years later, 200 years later, or something like that, a couple centuries later, made an extensive commentary on this specific writing. He doesn't it's not titled a commentary on Anselm's De Casu Diaboli or anything, but he references it all the time, a bunch, throughout his own treatise De Casu Diaboli, on the Fall of the Devil. And so he expands on this, and he actually disagrees with one little aspect of Anselm's argument. I'll get into this I'll get into Scotus's point a little bit after I get to this, because I want to have this conversation, because we've been sitting here for too long. Are you Kumis? Zarga thought you were dead.
I'm Kumis, and Zargo is not wrong in thinking me dead. We assume that any Mandalorian who does not report back within a day has been taken by the jungle. I still live. I'm just in a difficult situation.
Okay. What are you doing up there?
A patrol was sent to look for weapon caches in this region. They found 3 sites that looked promising. Zarga told me to prove myself by taking explosives to those sites and uncovering the caches, if they exist.
Rhea? So how did you get up there?
This was the first site. After easily dispatching some Maras, I removed my pack and began to plant my charges along this ridge. When I finished setting the charges, I looked down to see Canucks swarming all over my pack. The pests were eating everything. I killed the Canucks, but then a herd of Bomas arrived. I had no more ammo. The extra energy cells I had brought had been in my pack, so I've been up here, weaponless for 2 days.
You poor bastard. Oh, Jesus. Also, I think this is Lassie again, the voice actor. I think. We ran out of ammo. Isn't that against the Mandalorian code?
Blaster rifles don't use much energy, and their energy cells last a long time. How often have you had to change ammo?
I can't believe you were outwitted by Canucks. There's a Gizka of Dxun.
I do not need you to echo my failures to me. I need your aid.
Very well. How can I help you?
You must have cleared a path through the beast coming here. If you take care of the Boma beast, I can make it to safety.
I could just give you an extra ammo clip.
My blaster rifle's been useless ever since I used it to bash in a Canuck's skull.
Alright, I'll go drive off those Bomas then.
Your actions are worthy of a Mandalorian. Return here when you have slain the beast, and I will be able to return to camp.
Alright.
Don't touch that button. It'll blow up all my...
Okay, I'll leave it for now. I love how you can just blow him up.
Defend yourself!
Nah, it's fine. Oh, there's more. There was like 3 of them.
Everyone, on their guards! You have left me an opening!
Pretty sure you could have gotten through those guys. Like, I'm fairly confident I could have taken off all of my gear, not used any force powers, and still beat up 3 Canucks.
I'm grateful for your help,
Or
stranger.
Bomas, whatever.
I'm returning to the Mandalorian camp now. I won't forget this. I have only one request. Please, don't mention this incident to anyone.
The way he's standing looks like he has to pee.
Even though the
Please don't.
Mandalorians were your sworn enemy, you would still save one in need. You're a woman of many levels.
Mandalorian wars ended long ago. They aren't my enemies anymore.
I will have to think on what you said.
Alright. Let's blow it up. Alright. That didn't help me at all. Oh, cool. I get to blow stuff up, though. Alright, anyway. Alright, I've gone everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Alright, I need to get back to the scout. Right? Yeah, I need to get back to the scout. Alright. So, anyway. Yeah, so SCOTUS's point. SCOTUS, like I said, a couple hundred years later, writes a commentary on roughly the same points. But he has one disagreement with Anselm, and it's very subtle. But I think it makes a difference for this question, for this point. So, Anselm describes the choice of Satan as a turning towards rather than a turning away. Now, this means something, but it's subtle. So, for example, suppose I have a choice before me. I have my Elysian pumpkin ale. Sorry, my pumpkin stout, my Dark of the Moon pumpkin stout, and have my nice, tall, hot cup of coffee. I can choose one or the other. If I choose one, I am therefore choosing against. I'm willing to set aside the other in order to choose one, right? So, by willing the coffee, I have willed against. I've willed against to set aside the stout. By contrast, I could will the stout by setting aside the coffee. I can do one or the other. Anselm's point, though, is that one action will precede the other. I can just as well simply will against something. Which is the case if say, I decided I don't like this beer. I decide, I don't really like this one. Dark of the Moon, it's not my favorite. I'm not going to have any more. I don't have to will for anything first. I simply will to abandon it. I will against it. Simply because I don't will it. Right? So, I don't will it first. I don't choose it before I choose to get rid of it. I choose against it. Whereas if I'm choosing between the two objects, right? I like both of these, in fact, right? The good stout, it's a good coffee. I like both of these. I have a desire, I have a will for both of them. I want both of them. But I'm not going to mix them together. Yeah, not a thing I'm going to do. That sounds gross. So, in order to choose one or the other, what that means is I have to will against one of them. So, by choosing to reject one, by willing against, say, the coffee, I will against the coffee, and then I no longer will to retain the coffee. I now don't will it. First I willed against it, now I don't will it. And so, and that's because I'm willing for the stout, right? Okay, that is how this either-or kind of willing is the kind of willing that Anselm thinks Satan, the kind of choice Satan made to choose advantage over justice, right? He's got advantage, right? The thing that'll benefit him, and the will of God. Coffee, fine. Let's go with that. In any case, right. He's got the two things, both of which he wants. The first thing that happens, though, is he wills advantage over the will of God. And so it's not that he doesn't will the will of God at first. It's that he wills to reject it in favor of something else. Right. Okay, SCOTUS disagrees. SCOTUS does not actually think this. SCOTUS thinks that part of the process of willing advantage is rejecting, is actively willing against justice. And so the sin was not to choose advantage over justice, because advantage is just fine. The sin The devil's primal sin was the turning away, as he puts it, or the rejection of the will for justice, of the turning away from the will of God. And so it's not setting that aside that is first, that's primal. It's not the rejecting it in favor of something else. It is the releasing it. It's the abandoning it, which comes first. Not willing it, for SCOTUS, precedes willing against it, or willing not to have it, willing to reject it. This might seem not not a big deal, but it's huge. Because what that ultimately means is that if Satan only had the will for justice, he still could have willed not to have it, and therefore to reject it. And then further, because of this mechanical process of turning away preceding, so not willing to retain preceding the willful rejection, right? What this means is that if we have this flipped, right, and we have this scenario that Satan's in hell, turned away from God, willing only advantage, but having no advantage to will. He has this desire for advantage. If he first does not have it, if he loses this desire for advantage, say, by not having any object for it, let's suppose that's the case, could he then just pick up the will for justice? Well, why? Again, for SCOTUS here, it's not that these two are in tension with each other, and by automatically, by willing one, you're rejecting the other, or by rejecting one, you're willing the other. It doesn't work like that for SCOTUS. For SCOTUS, excuse me, these two wills are independent things. And by not willing justice, at the moment of the primal sin, one has gotten rid of one's will for it entirely. One has no more will for justice. One only has a will for advantage. Even if you turn away from that will for advantage, you get rid of that too. Now you just have nothing. Now you just have no will for either. It's not like, yeah, you can will to turn away from advantage, like you could, again, theoretically, or perhaps maybe for Anselm, like we were talking about earlier. It's not like you can do that on SCOTUS's reading, because if you will against, if you do not will, or even if you will against advantage, it's not like you're turning towards justice. You're just turning away from advantage. You now have no will. There is no justice to will in this circumstance, any more than there is advantage to will. Because you've rejected it. Because you put yourself in a position where you cannot will it. And my go-to analogy for this sort of thing, which is in the lecture, I think, is suppose you're hanging off a cliff, right? So I'm hanging on the top of the frame. Okay, I can will to hold on. As long as I want. As long as I can hold on. So assume I'm strong enough. I can will to hold on to this hypothetical cliff for as long as I want to. But then, if I will to let go of the thing, I can want to hold on as much as I want to, but there's nothing for me to grab, right? I can't now, after having, let go of the cliff, I can't will to hold on to it anymore, because there's no cliff to hold on to. And the same SCOTUS will wind up arguing applies in the case of the devil willing to reject, or willing, not to reject, but willing to let go of. Willing, or I guess I should say, not willing, turning away from justice, turning away from God. And so that is how the devil traps himself in hell, so to speak. And this lines up quite well with what C.S. Lewis says several more hundred years later, that the door to hell is locked from the inside. Well, it damn sure is. Hell is a curving in on oneself, as Aquinas said, looking inwards rather than outwards, looking towards one's own advantage, to the rejection of anything outside of oneself. And so there we go. It's the kind of thing where it's not God setting up the scenario in such a way as to trick the devil, as much as I like thinking of it that way, because it's cool. Because that's neat, right? It's cool that the devil totally deserves it, and tricked himself into getting there. But it's that he tricked himself into getting there. It's not that, like, God set a trap for him and then laughs maniacally as the devil springs the trap. No, it's like the devil just kind of walks off a cliff, and God is like, "What? Don't do that," and then he does. Like a dumbass. Because the devil's a dumbass. QED.
I found more of their scouts,
Here we go.
but they started shooting as soon as they saw me. I heard blaster rifle fire coming from deeper in the jungle. You find anything?
Came across 2 groups of scouts. They weren't in the mood to talk either.
Surprised they wouldn't talk to you. I thought their grudge was only with Mandalorians. Find out anything useful from them?
You first. What'd you find out?
I searched their corpses. I'm pretty certain that they're Onderonian military, but without the tags. Could be a covert operation.
Interesting. Without the tags.
The only thing the scouts had on them were weapons. No identity cards, no personal effects, and no evidence to figure out who they were if they died or were captured out here.
I see. Any idea why they were here? Oh, they mentioned something about a colonel. There also seems to be more of them.
Colonel, huh? Could be Colonel Tobin. Tobin is General Vatglu's personal cath hound. If he's on your trail, you might want to steer clear of Onderon.
Can't do that, but okay. Tobin's the one who opened fire on our ship and forced us to land here.
I'm not surprised. He was probably acting on orders from Vatglu. If so, you've made some dangerous enemies.
Hooray! Who's General Vatglu?
General Vatglu is the cousin of Queen Talia. He's also in charge of the Onderon military. He led the Onderon resistance when we occupied their world during the Mandalorian Wars. He was a worthy foe. Maybe more than a match for you. Mandalore needs to know about the scouts. I'll let him know your role in dealing with them.
Alright, I'll see you back at camp then.
You might not. One last thing about the battle circle.
Okay.
Your actions have proven you worthy of facing our best in the circle. Perhaps we can face each other there. See you at camp.
Okay, bye. Alright, no, I'm gonna get my absolute ass kicked at the battle circle. I know how that works. Alright, let's go back to the landing zone. In the hopes that there might be something back that way that I missed. Further in the jungle over there? I don't know. Not actually sure. Or wait, no, there's a... No, never mind. There's a... Here we go. Oh no, I already did this, didn't I? Great explosives, huh? What, I can't do this? No, I don't have permacrete detonators. I can't do it. Alright, well that's annoying. Fine. Excuse me. Alright. See if there's anything more we missed. I don't actually think so. I think we're all good. Shipwreckage. Jug ship. Yeah, there is a shipwreckage there. Where's this droid? Well, let's check the shipwreckage, I guess. What was that? Corpse. Okay. Alright, let's keep going, I guess. Another one of those droids.
I am listening.
Let's move out.
Oh man, you're really far behind. Mira, you are slow. With no force speed either. Okay. They're just waiting there like, oh, okay, come on, Mira, you coming? You coming? Coming? Alright. I choose my tech, so. System commands. Remote droids. Offline. Root menu. Okay, there's nothing there. Fine, that's weird. Corpses. No, alright, well let's head back, I guess. Whatever. Alright. Well, let's keep going. Yeah, I guess let's head back to the Mandalorian camp, shall we? Anyway, so with all that, all that in mind, I'll put some things in the description and probably in Discord. So if you're wanting to join our Discord server, linked down in the description already. And I'll put some things in the philosophy channel over there that I'll also put in the description after the stream is over. I'll put my my lectures on De Casa Diabli on the Fall of the Devil, including the one the Star Wars related one on Force Ghosts, which I can bring that point up too if you'd like, if you're interested. I might start talking about it. And then also I have a reading group playlist where I go through reading and then commenting on some commentary from Duns Scotus, which isn't entirely about the Fall of the Devil. But it's some related points that are of course worth talking about and worth looking at and related to the conversation. Prepare.
Any progress?
I fixed the core programming in the telemetry computer.
You managed that? I thought that was a lost cause. Now if I can only get the phase pulse converter and the power working, the sensors will be operational again.
Oh, okay.
Damn it. Any progress with the repairs or the phase pulse converter?
I have all three parts of the pulse, the phase pulse converter.
You do? Let me see. I don't know how, but these pieces look in good enough shape to repair. I'll have the telemetry computer repaired in no time.
Nice. Could you mention this to Mandalore?
I'll be sure to tell Mandalore how much help you've been. I know you didn't ask, but here's a reward anyway. Mandalorians are expected to do anything they can to help, but you're a stranger, and you didn't have to help us.
It was my pleasure to help. Well... Very well. I'll be going now. Yeah.
Damn it. Jungle is taking over.
Let's fix it.
Any progress?
Both the cables and the telemetry computer are working now.
That's the best thing I've heard in weeks. I'll be sure to tell Mandalore about your help. Look, I have some extra parts and computer spikes. Take them. You can probably make better use of them than I can.
Awesome. Fantastic. Alright, let's see what do we got over here. This is just the shop, right? Kex. Kumas.
I was able to make it back to camp without encountering any other beasts. You have my gratitude.
No trouble. Glad I could help.
Please, Mandalorians were to know, I would be disgraced.
Mandalore!
will gather the scattered clans.
Okay.
We will try. You found Kumus, and alive, no less. I suppose I should offer my gratitude. He's got a mind like a stunned Minoc, but he's got courage. He was evasive when I asked him what happened, however. Trying to survive in the jungle must have taken its toll.
I'm glad I was able to return him safely.
We'll see if Kumus will prove warrior enough to be worth all this trouble.
Mukfa. I got a Mukfa. What's a Mukfa? A weapon? No, it doesn't seem to be a weapon. Is it a... Is it a armor? Heavy armor. We can use heavy armor. Mukfa. Powered battle armor. Well, Flex is better. Mukfa. Mukfa is actually not as good. Wow, Flex heavy armor is actually better than the Mukfa. Cumbersome but powerful armor. Mukfa is the battle plate used by elite Gamorrean warriors. Oh, that's why. Traditionally, each Gamorrean warrior would fashion his own battle plate from metal fragments on the battlefield of their victories. That's why it sucks. Corellian power suit. Wow, no, Flex heavy armor is just the best. They're still heavy armor. No. Marine battle armor. Marine heavy armor. Mandalorian assault armor. 10 plus 3. Mandalorian assault armor might actually be better. Versus cold and fire. No, honestly, no, that's just better. Jeez. Ow. Crazy. Dex plus 2 is good. Dex and wisdom. Oh, awareness, dex, and wisdom. I have those, right? Shea meditation gloves. Wait. Yeah, okay. Okay. Goodbye. I'll see you soon.
Mandalorians will rise again.
I hope not, frankly, but okay. Alright. I mean, the Mandalorians kind of rise again, but not really. Honestly, the Mandalorians were pretty much at their pinnacle at the Mandalorian Wars. That was really their peak. After that, they kind of just went downhill. Really quite something. Alright, I'm not going to try the battle circle. I will lose. Let's go talk to Mandalore and see if we proven ourselves enough yet. Oh, excuse me. Unless... Zakeg challenge. Oh yeah, that's right. I can talk to the captain at the entrance. Explosives. Blown up the entrance to catch B-13. Explosive charges agitated the wildlife in the jungle. Yes, I know that. Yeah? Is this on my quest log? Battle circle. No. The price of passage. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll get to that. This is Kyle and Nar Shaddaa. Yeah, okay. I'll go back to Nar Shaddaa after I'm finished with some other stuff.
What do you want?
Oh, nothing. Sorry. Just sneaking. Just sneaking. I wonder. Nothing. I'm invisible. Oh, come on. Oh, it's his personal quarters. Okay. Oh, Devil Mimicker, huh? Mandalorian power shield. Jeez, man. Alright, let's see what else we got. Components. Grenade. Sword pack. Ossus dueling lens. Oh, alright. Maybe Sonic Blaster. Okay, okay. Hey, your bedroom door's not open or anything. Don't worry. It's fine. Definitely not open. I'm not sneaking into your bedroom or anything. Not how it's going. Alright.
All scouts report in.
Okay, Mandalore.
Kelborn said you dispatched some covert military scouts in the jungle with him. He spoke highly of your work. Zuka told me you helped out with some repairs around the base. I was hoping you'd prove yourself more with a lightsaber, but it's certainly a great help. Zarga told me that you returned one of our sheep to the herd. You have gained some small prestige by helping Kumas. How many Kanaks did you have to kill to find those parts for Zuka? That was a tremendous help. I won't forget it. You've made quite a reputation around here. You did better than I thought you could. I was planning on heading to Isis tomorrow, but I'll move up the timetable and take you now. You won't be able to get to the Ebon Hawk from the city. If you need to grab anything from your ship, I'd do it now.
Be right back. Ooh, did I just get a lightsaber? How did I get a lightsaber? Why did he have a lightsaber? A short lightsaber. Guess who's getting that? Yeah! Nice. Perfect dual wielding. Alright. Wish I could find a workbench for that secondary lightsaber, but it's fine.
I hear you gave Davril a warrior's death. You understand more of our ways than I thought.
I defeated a Zakag. Here's its ear as proof.
I'm impressed. Too bad you're a Jedi. You'd make a formidable Mandalorian.
Alright, I'll be going. Okay, yeah, point chamber. Okay. Alright.
The gate guard said you managed to kill a Zakag. Those are tough
quick.
beasts, Jedi. You've
And the
earned
helmets,
some
I guess.
respect around here. Are you ready to go to Isis yet?
I set off the permacrete detonator in the jungle.
I know, it made quite a racket. Good work.
After I set off the explosive, I had to fight through a pack of bomas.
That's to be expected. They don't really like it when someone makes loud noise in their territory.
What? You knew that would happen?
It wouldn't be much of a test if all you had to do was take a hike through the jungle, now would it? You're alive, in one piece, and learn
Great.
something about the beasts of the jungle.
Wonderful. Thanks. Thanks.
Are you ready to go to
Mando.
Isis yet?
Have you learned anything new about the scouts from the third ship?
Kelborn told me that they were covert military and probably aligned with Colonel Tobin from Isis. Kelborn doesn't think they'll send out any more scouts, but that doesn't mean there aren't more of them out there.
What do you know about Colonel Tobin?
Colonel Tobin is General Vaklu's right-hand man. Despite his martial skill, he handles himself as a functionary more than a warrior. Back when we were fighting Vaklu's resistance during the Mandalorian Wars, Vaklu wouldn't have any use for a poisonous kinrat like Tobin. But Vaklu
Eric, are
seems
you back
to have
yet?
adapted
I gotta
well
kill
to
that thing.
peacetime.
Do it. Oh, you got it. Nice. Nice. I thought you were still back. I still weren't back yet. Welcome back. Well done. Can you tell me about Onderon?
When you were last here, you probably didn't even go to Onderon. The Republic knew that Onderon's fate would be decided on its jungle moon, not the planet itself. To begin with, when you talk about Onderon, you're really talking about the ancient walled city of Isis. It's the only inhabited settlement on the planet.
That is crazy. That Isis was ancient 3,000 years before the movies. Because the palace of Isis, which is in the thumbnail, it's that major building that you see in the thumbnail. Actually, that thumbnail is actually from the Clone Wars. And you can actually see the similarities, the very stark similarities between Isis in the Clone Wars and Isis in this game, and Isis, I think 600 years later in SOTOR, in the MMO, where you go there as well. Onderon does not change a lot over the course of 3,000 years, and it's an ancient city at this point in time, in this point in galactic history. That is really something. Onderon's an old planet. Old planet. Is Onderon part of the Republic?
Onderon is a recent addition to the Republic, joining during one of the darker eras in Republic history. Since joining, the Republic has endured many wars and great battles. The people of Onderon don't possess the resolve and strength needed in these times. Many of them want to break away from the Republic. They want to go back to an earlier age when they could cower behind their walls. Their spinelessness made them easy to conquer.
Really? Who's in charge of Onderon?
It depends on who you ask. Queen Talia rules from the royal palace, but her cousin, General Vaklu, has a great deal of power in Isis as well. They disagree about many things, just like their citizens. We fought General Vaklu during the war, and he is a worthy adversary. Queen Talia is young and hardly a match for him.
What do you travel to Isis?
We're not self-sufficient here. We need supplies. Isis is the only place to go for them in this system. Not much choice. Which is unfortunate, because their animosity towards Mandalorians makes it inconvenient to go there.
Alright, that's all I need to know.
I don't blame you. They're a sad people. I have some things to look into. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Can I... Lab station. Can I travel back and forth to and from my ship in any way?
Kumas owes you a debt of honor, traveler. Ready to head back to your ship?
Oh.
Give the word and I'll take you there.
Yeah, thanks.
Follow me.
Sweet. Appreciate that. Alright, let's modify that lightsaber for better use. Oh, hello.
Well, check it again. It can't be anything else. Just check the damn connector. I don't trust the diagnostics any more than I trust you.
Rude.
Because I don't like droids. They break. In the head. Well, whatever you call that thing on your head.
I'd call it a head. Oops. Skipped him. Visual Processing Center, maybe? I don't know.
There was a pattern to Revan's attacks during the Jedi Civil War. He sought to convert Jedi, not kill them. But that is not all. In fact, he fought to keep the infrastructure intact, killed certain political leaders that would lead to destabilization. First Patriarch Lelin Dur of Sirocco, the Corellian diplomat Mimis Yoon, and Yusunas of Achani.
Huh. Malik didn't seem too concerned with keeping the Republic intact.
No, you're correct. The pattern ends with Malik. At that point, worlds die indiscriminately. Or seem to. Taris, Dantooine, all become targets during this time.
What do you think Revan's plan was?
I think he was trying to unify the galaxy against some other threat.
Against what?
I do not know. And that concerns me.
Well, I know. You might. I don't know. Do you know? Does anyone know? No, probably not. No. So this is first of all, that little exchange and I think that exchange exclusively, is where people get this idea that Palpatine was trying to unify the galaxy against the Yuuzhan Vong. Which, of course, was nonsense. Like, no, the Death Star was not built to destroy world ships. That's crazy, that's silly, that's foolishness. Sorry, Kevin, if you go back and watch this. I know you simp so much for Palpy, for old Creamy Sheev, but no. It was not his plan. Stop it. No. And Revan was also definitely not trying to plan to unify the galaxy against the Yuuzhan Vong, because of what he heard from Ordo. No, that did not happen. Stop it. Let's see. Blaster bolt effect +2. Whoa! Damn. I want green. He's got bronze and blue. That's better. And again, damage to... Yeah. Up his damage. Let's see. What about mine? That's just a pure upgrade. Alright, cool. Your Kundalens, there we go. Oh, another short lightsaber. Ooh. Ooh, hello. Who's using this? Who's using that? Why does he not have it equipped? There. Weird. Oh man, I can't level them up. Okay. No, that's good enough. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if I'm ever going to use Godo, honestly. I might. We'll see. I'll equip him when I bring him. What that? Let's give her the Dark Jedi Master Robe. That seems appropriate enough. Got the look and fit for it. Let's see. Alrighty then. HK is definitely good. Like a good HK. Alright, that's fine. Alright, that's fine. Cool. So, anyway, the big threat that Revan is trying to unite the galaxy against is the Sith Empire, the Sith Emperor in the unknown regions on Dromund Kaas, which is the primary, I guess I'd say antagonist, but it's hard to say antagonist. The like bad guy faction, I guess, of SOTOR, of the MMO.
My life for yours.
I wanted to teach you some of the techniques I've learned.
I am prepared for whatever you wish to teach me.
Learn breath
I understand.
control.
My life.
More techniques. Beast trick.
My life.
Forms. Shien. Only taught you to make you stronger, not serve you. Questions. No, that's all, I guess.
My life.
Anything else? Okay, no, that's all. I think I've heard everything from her, at least so far, for the moment. Let's see, is there anything
Yes,
about her
General?
has to say? No, that's all. Okay, never mind. How about a Jay?
Statement. Master, if you could indulge me for a moment, I must express some degree of irritation at your actions. Perhaps my anticipation of working with one who served at Malachor 5 was too high.
Oh boy.
But you are countering all those expectations.
How is that?
Statement. Well, all your behavior up to this point suggests either strong atonement or confirmation that the atrocities attributed to you during the war were in fact accidents.
I'm not proud of what I did during the wars. I do not wish to discuss it.
Statement. I suspected as much, Master. There are few who would discuss such things with an assassination droid, and that is perfectly understandable. I mean, what use is there for communication in a galaxy such as ours? Understanding might be achieved, or sympathies might be gained by such callous acts. You are right to remain silent about your past. I have seen the damage that repressing such things brings, and it is far preferable to share such traumas.
Why did you ask me about the Mandalorian Wars?
Answer. Why? Because your actions then and now are related, and I feel I need some context. I confess to being somewhat needy that way.
What do you mean?
Statement. Sometimes, Master, it is difficult for meatbags to step back and gain some perspective on death and its importance in their insignificant lives.
That's true.
Explanation.
That's true.
You see, Master,
Memento Mori.
assassination is such a versatile tool. I have seen the removal of a single target have far-reaching consequences for a nation, world, even a galaxy.
Oh yeah, you did work for the Jennifer
Even
Paragon, kind
the
of.
smallest lives,
If you recall.
whether dead or alive, can have profound implications on history. But surely you realize this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's again, it's the importance of death gives a lot of meaning to life, to our actions. That our life. This isn't the direction he was going with it, but the typical memento mori point is that the finitude of our lives, the fact that we are approaching an end, means that we have to be very intentional about the things that we do. He's taking a sort of big picture perspective of the galaxy, looking at the presence or absence of a particular individual life and what impacts and influences that might have, sort of spreading outwards. And so, looking at the importance of any given action that you might or might not perform, there are far-reaching consequences, whether you realize it or not, and especially if you don't realize what they will be. Again, unintended consequences are some of the most dramatic kinds of consequences. It's a very human perspective, H.A.
Statement. Master, please, any comparisons between me and your meatbag status leaves a fluctuating, intermittent charge through my control clusters. I was only trying to bring death and its impact to your attention.
Good. How's that?
Statement. Why your own life, Master? Your single life changed the face of the galaxy, of history itself. Malachor 5 was an impressive act of destruction, but its impact on the lives of others in the galaxy was far more extreme. I mean, Master, you brought about the death of the Mandalorian race. I doubt they realize it yet, but you dealt them a blow from which they will never recover.
I mean, not quite. But yeah, kind of close enough. Don't attempt to justify my actions or yours.
Retort. Oh, Master, I am attempting to justify nothing. Merely making an observation. Nothing would change the fact that I derive pleasure from ending the lives of others. I was only trying to bring death and its impact to your attention.
Alright, never mind. Thank you. Influence lost, HK-47, of course. Of course. I disciple.
Yes? Is something wrong?
I wanted to make use of your medical skills.
Very well. Let us see what we can make from the materials at hand.
Oh. Oh, cool. Regen. Perception D package. Reaction system. Ooh. Nerve enhancement. Huh. Oh my god. I don't have enough chemicals. Alright, never mind.
Yes?
Can you make me some med
Not
packs?
at the moment.
Okay. I have other
That is
questions.
hardly surprising. What do you wish to know?
You said you had medical... yeah, you said you had medical training.
Yes. I have been trained by some of the best researchers in the Republic, which is a humbling experience, let me tell you. But if you ever need some medical items broken down or constructed, let me know.
Okay. I have other
That is
questions. No. Nothing. Nothing, never mind, thanks. Wait, why did you unequip your lightsaber again? Disciple. Stop doing that. No, he didn't. He's just not carrying it, which is odd, but fine. Let's see. How about Kreia? Does she have anything new and esoteric and evil to say?
Yes. Have you come with questions?
Of course. I want you to teach me more about the Force.
Very well. What is it that drives you?
I wish to know more about the Force forms.
Very well. Of which did you wish instruction?
The one that allows me to focus the Force.
It allows you to recover your strength with the Force more quickly, and it lends strength to your Force powers. It has no other drawbacks. Such a form is a gift, preferred of the Jedi consulars, and effective in combats where you must fight only through the Force.
Oh, I see. This just basically tells you about
Ask,
your abilities.
and I will
Okay,
answer.
I have other questions then. Kreia, what are you? Are you a Jedi, a Sith?
Does it matter? Of course it does. Such titles allow you to break the galaxy into light and dark, categorize it. Perhaps I am neither, and I hold both as what they are, pieces of a whole. Know that I am your teacher, and that is enough.
She's such a postmodernist. The intentional dismantling of categories in this kind of way is a kind of metaphysical or not metaphysical, logical or philosophical universal solvent. Its entire purpose, its sole purpose, is to pull things apart without leaving room or even the ability to reconstruct anything. It is purely destructive nihilism. It's not even Nietzschean in the real proper sense. Nietzsche was rather weirdly optimistic and constructive with nihilism. Or what people have called nihilism. He kind of denied that even. But the elimination of categorization in that manner of I don't like labels, or I reject the two-party dichotomy, which, I mean, yes, I'm broadly speaking a libertarian. I do reject the two-party dichotomy, but that doesn't mean that... Let me put it this way. Let me run with that comparison. The reason I generally reject the left-right political paradigm, or I would rather say the Republican-Democrat political paradigm, is because in the US and in most Western countries, really, the left and right parties are non-ideological. They don't have a cohesive set of ideals behind them. And if you don't believe me, look at how often they change their views. And if you don't believe that, look at how often how often it switches which side, which party is the war party. And if you ever have to guess, it's the party in power. The party in power is always in favor of war. The party out of power is always against war, because the party in power is always waging war. That's how it works. That is just how it works in American politics. They're non-ideological. The Republicans have no ideological basis. Conservatism is at least in the U.S., really probably worldwide, has no fundamental ideology aside from what? Wanting to slow down change, which doesn't mean anything. They're status quo people, and the status quo, because it's constantly changing, it means they're on no ground. The Democrats are progressive. That's their ideology, but progressing towards what? They have no ideal. And fine, you can say maybe they're Marxist, but they're not really. The Democratic Party is a massive tent. There are some just doctrinaire Marxists. There are some people who are other sorts of say post-Marxian critical theorists. There are the sort of the not very thinking but mainline sort of wokeists. There are the traditional like unionist Democrats, which have like nothing to do with any of that. Yeah, they're for labor, I guess, broadly, like labor over capital, but that's a dumb distinction that doesn't mean anything in today's political context. They're not, and even still, even if it did mean something, it breaks down on group lines, on in-group versus out-group, not anything ideological. Whereas, again, something like the Libertarian Party is ideological. It is entirely based upon some very basic and very simple and very straightforward ideological commitments. Non-aggression and property rights. Boom. That's it. It's not even size of government, right? It's not even like we want the government to be smaller. Yes, but that's because it follows from property rights and the non-aggression principle. That's it. It follows specifically from that. Now, if instead you were to be like Gary Johnson and say, we take the best parts of the Democrats and the Republicans, and we come up with, and we are fiscally conservative but socially liberal, that means nothing. Like nothing at all. So again, that's just sort of triangulating between two non-ideological parties to make your own non-ideological in-group party that will inevitably lose because you have in-group, out-group, and other group. Other groups can lose. So if you have, if what you have are two groups that are defined merely by their opposition to each other, which is what you have in American politics, and what you have in at least what you have in politics in the English-speaking world. I don't know enough about mainland Europe and the EU to know whether that's the case. But that's certainly the case in England, or in the UK. That's certainly the case, not in Scotland, that's separate. Certainly the case in the UK, that's certainly the case in Canada, that's certainly the case in Australia, that's certainly the case in the US. English-speaking politics works like this. There are two parties, they're defined by their opposition to each other and nothing more. So, so if you want to deny that dichotomy and set yourself up in opposition to the dichotomy for ideological reasons, great, cool. Then you're defining something. You're actually proposing a definition in light of there not being a proper definition. You're not doing what Kreia is doing here, right? Kreia is, instead of that, she is just denying a principal distinction between Jedi and Sith who have genuine ideological and philosophical opposition to one another. Not just defined in their opposition to one another, though to be fair, the Sith sort of, at least in large part, define themselves in opposition to the Jedi, but the Jedi don't. The Jedi are specifically a religious, ideological, philosophical group. They have ideals. And so, trying to eliminate said distinction is actually trying to eliminate our ability to think and talk about coherent issues and coherent topics. And that just means that we're unable to think things through properly. And that's where we get ideas like Kreia's, which are insane and obviously wrong. So, anyway, that is a digression through politics as a way of looking at what's wrong with this view and why it seems so appealing on the surface, because we're used to issues that are really on the surface level dumb, false dichotomies, but that can tempt us into thinking that all dichotomies are false. They're not. And that can also tempt us into thinking that all binaries have a middle ground. They don't. Light and dark. There can be a mix in the individual, but there cannot be a mix in the concepts. Or you can have a person who is gray, so to speak, because there are parts of them they have some virtues and some vices, right? But there can't be something that is kind of a virtue, kind of a vice. That's absurd, right? Or, I mean, to get me kicked off YouTube, male-female. That is a strict dichotomy. Now you can have someone with, you can have a man who is a man but with feminine aspects, feminine characteristics. They have personality, or even physicality. Right? Intersex is a thing. I mean, it's not as much of a thing as the gender theorists want you to think it is. There has been never on record in the human species a true hermaphrodite. So there's that. That's cool. So this intersex just means that there are men with some feminine physiological characteristics and vice versa. That's all that means. But that's possible, right? But that just means that in individuals, the two categories can have some admixture. Now, less than they can in terms of good and evil, light and dark. That can mix a lot in an individual. But that isn't to say that there is no definition of one or the other. There is no way of laying out, this is what one is, this is what the other is, and never the two shall meet. Because never the two shall meet, at least in their definitions. That's what light and dark mean. That's what Jedi and Sith are. They're opposed to one another not because they are simply defining themselves in opposition to one another, but because their fundamental ideological commitments are opposed. They are opposite. So this is dumb thinking. It's dumb guy, first semester of philosophy kind of thinking. And trust me, I know a lot of first semester philosophy students. Or I guess at this point, former first semester philosophy students. And a lot of them, most of them come into philosophy classes if they've ever seen this, if they've seen, read, watched, or played this. They come into their first semester of philosophy thinking, oh man, Kreia is so profound, and then they leave their first semester of philosophy thinking, oh, that was kind of dumb. Because they actually learn to think a little bit. Anyway, I get all heated when I talk to Kreia, so I spent the last, 15, 20 minutes ranting, but anyway, I think that was a worthy digression. But anyway, Mitra's not taking any of her bullshit either, so to align myself with someone without knowing their allegiance is unwise.
What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the Jedi? That I felt the call of the Sith? That perhaps once I held the galaxy by its throat? That for every good work that I did, I brought equal harm upon the galaxy? That perhaps what the greatest of the Sith Lords knew of evil they learned from me? What would it matter now? There is only so much comfort in knowing such things, and it is not who I am now.
And what happened to you? I get to see it. I don't know if you do. I really hope this isn't going to drop all of the frames that we have.
There are dark places in the galaxy where few tread, ancient centers of learning, of knowledge, but I did not walk alone. To be united by hatred is a fragile alliance at best.
Oh man, we got any more of them pixels?
But my will was not law. There were disagreements, ambition, and hunger for power. There are techniques within the Force, against which there is no defense. I was cast down, stripped of my power, exiled. I suffered indignities and fell into darkness. Learn from me, my mistakes, and use that knowledge to become greater than I. That is all I ask of you, and that is all I desire. In you all my hopes rest for the future, for the Force.
I like that they're mirrors, that Mitra and Kreia are mirrors to each other. They're both exiles, one from the light, one from the dark. They both touched the other side at some point. There's something to that. There's something very interesting to that. But again, I think that they are equal opposites. That Mitra is very much a paragon of the light side. No matter how gray the game wants her to be, it doesn't fit. And no matter how gray Kreia wants to say she is, she's absolutely a paragon of the Sith, of the dark side. I need more than that, Kreia.
If it means so much to you, then this I swear to you upon my life, upon our lives, that when your training is complete, I will answer everything. There shall be no more shadows between us, only truth that exists between master and apprentice.
Hey, Lady Revan, welcome. Good evening. There's a cat. He's leaving. Alright, I'll be going then. There we go. I accidentally paused. Okay. That was fun. Yeah, I forgive my very long rant about Kreia. I guess that's what you ought to come here for, is long philosophical rants about things that are at least somewhat related to the game. Well, I mean, not always. Not always. I did talk a good deal about the Fall of the Devil earlier. That didn't have much to do with the game at all. Although kind of. Can I not talk to Goto? Is he just glitched out or something? Can I talk to Mira? I can't click anything. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Let me just save here. We are on Dxun. Onderon might actually be my favorite planet in this game. Especially if you combine Dxun and Onderon, they work really well together. What is happening here? Ah, Jesus. Hold on, everyone. I hope I had an autosave recently. Can't even close. Hold on. I'm sorry about this, guys. No, it's not that. No. That's it. killed. All right, I killed the right one. That's good. Okay, sweet. Sorry about that. Let's load back in. I might have to go through a bunch of that again. I hope not too much. Lady Revan says, yeah, I like being with Mandalorians and Dxun, then encountering the political turmoil on Onderon. Yeah, I absolutely love the political turmoil stuff. It's really cool. Again, sorry about this. Now that planet, the droid planet from the autosave. Oh, good. That was... Oh, God, it was 20 minutes ago. All right. Okay, yeah, we already saw all this. Yeah, we get it. You're having a little argument.
There was a pattern to...
Alec didn't seem concerned. What do you think Revan's plan was? Against what? Oh, okay. Let's go back and just chat with everybody. We already did all this, but I just want to run through all the dialogue options. Anyway, I'll continue talking while we're doing this. I really like the political stuff on Onderon. That is probably my favorite part. It's a blue one because that fits well. Add again. Okay. Simple. Lightsaber. Wait, what? It's doing that. Let's, yeah. Wait, I have 2 short lightsabers? I have an extra short lightsaber? Really? I do. Where'd I get an extra short lightsaber? Huh. I guess she could have one, but... Or I could. Here, let me upgrade it a little bit, just in case I do want to equip it at some point. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a glitch. Cool. Okay. It was just a glitch. That was interesting. There we go. All right. How many companions do I have trained as Jedi? I have... Let me see. I have Atton. Kreia, obviously. Mira, or... what the hell's her name? Visas, obviously. I don't have Mira yet. I do have Disciple. I don't have... I don't have Bowder. So I don't have Mira, and I don't have Bowder. And I actually don't know... I don't think I ever have gotten Bowder ever trained as Jedi. I don't know if you can. Can you? I never have. But I think Mira is the only one I haven't gotten to just yet. Let me teach her some techniques.
I will end.
Wait, never mind.
My
More
life.
techniques.
I understand now.
Powder can be trained. What are the conditions? Do you know? Because I don't think I've ever actually accomplished that.
I am prepared.
East trick. Anything new? No, that's all. Thank you. I mean, part of the problem is that I don't take him along enough. There's influence opportunities on Dxun, on Dxun for Bowder. Really? Ah. Uh-oh. Let me see. There's no way to find that, is there? To look at my influence.
Statement, Master.
Yeah, I know. Okay, how's it? I want to discuss it. Why'd you ask? What do you mean? Your human perspective, how's that? Don't attempt to justify my actions. That's all, thank you. Lost influence. Oh, darn it, I did that, but I didn't have him with me. Crap. So the Mandalorian with weapon cache side quest. Yeah, I saved him. I just didn't have Bowder with me. Darn it. Most of the time you have to have Bowder by himself in the party to gain influence. Oh god. No, that's very inconvenient.
Yes.
Alright, oh, I need some answers. What are you? Yes. And what happened to you? Alright, we get it. Can I skip this? We already saw the thing.
From me.
Okay, cool. We need more than that. That'll do. Alright. Huh. So that's actually somewhat difficult. I did not realize that. Let's see about Goto. I had some questions for you. Actually, can you make me some security tunnelers?
No, you have enough. And as I tell all my employees, make do with less.
Okay, fine. I had other questions. Do you know anything about the HK droid sent after me?
The assassin droids. I have encountered some, purchased the service of others.
Why are they hunting me?
Why, I asked them to.
Yeah.
To be honest, I believe that was always their intention, but it seems their directive was dormant for some time.
Really? You know where they're coming from?
If you mean produced, no, I do not. I do know that there are a surprising number scattered throughout the Republic fleet searching for you. What they will do now that you are found is easy to predict.
Yay. What are they doing in the Republic fleet?
They are masquerading as protocol droids. I have discovered that when they are used in negotiations, they have a predictable pattern of sabotaging whatever peace treaties they are involved with.
Why doesn't the Republic know?
Because the Republic has no reason to investigate otherwise, and any discovery of their true purpose has been concealed by well-timed accidents.
Oh my god, and you haven't acted. Why haven't you acted on this information yet?
Because their behavior is predictable, of course. By monitoring their presence, I know which worlds will suffer civil wars, planetary conflicts, and Republic bombardment.
Great. So destabilization, but predictable destabilization. That doesn't seem like a good thing, like, at all.
Yeah, something wrong?
I was hoping we could talk.
Talk? About what?
Just wanted to get to know you a little better, that's all.
Why, you trying to be my mother? No thanks. Already had one. Somewhere.
Just thought you might need a friend.
No thanks. I didn't need friends on Nar Shaddaa, and I don't need them now.
There's some questions I wanted to ask.
Go ahead and ask.
What happened between you and Hanar?
I didn't kill him once. Biggest mistake ever.
I think that deserves an explanation.
That's a long story. I don't want to get into it. Maybe some other time.
Alright, forget that. I had some other questions, though.
Shoot.
Why don't you kill your targets?
I've killed people before, but not if I don't have to.
Because all life is connected, and Malachor proved it. You know what the loss of family means, even to your targets.
Oh, do I? Is that it? How you could ever possibly hope to understand is beyond me. Jedi don't have family. I know what happened at Malachor 5, and I know the Jedi didn't care about life there.
Eddie Revan says, if you say all the right things in your conversations with Mira, you can unlock the Jedi training trigger on Nar Shaddaa. Ooh, okay. On Nar Shaddaa. Alright, I'll have to do that next. I've never stopped trying to protect others, even at Malachor.
Get away from me.
The next time you come and ask me a question, I swear I'll shoot you in the head and dump you out the airlock.
Okay, I didn't lose influence, at least. I am also, I'm doing my best to do this without a guide.
I heard you making friends with the
natural
bounty
conversations.
hunter. I don't blame you. She's a scrapper. You don't survive on Nar Shaddaa for very long if you aren't.
Oh. I can go back to her right now and she'll apologize. Oh, that's nice of her. A little bit surprising, but nice. Did you know Miran?
I've known people like her. Maybe without the rocket launchers, but sort of the same. Maybe without the plunging neckline and the boots. I wouldn't let anything she says bother you. It's a wonder you cracked her attitude at all. She's cold as the ship's hull.
Alright, I had some questions for you.
Alright, what did you want to know?
Never mind. No, maxed out influence, I guess. We're about good with it. Hey, Mira, how's it
What do
how's
you
it going?
want now?
I wanted to apologize.
Whatever, don't worry about it. It's just a sore subject with me.
Still, I'm sorry you lost your family at Malachor.
Yeah, well, they're dead. That's how that story ends. But not everybody's story has to end with losing their family or their loved ones. And not all the bounty hunting I do is for criminals or killers.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of lost people out there, scattered ever since the Mandalorian Wars. And sometimes it's like you can almost hear them, like an echo, calling out for each other. And maybe, just maybe by finding them, I can start putting the galaxy back together.
Lady Revan says, I guess apologize was the wrong word. More like she calms down. I mean, you kind of have to apologize first, so... She's not the kind of... I get the impression, really, at least here, she's not really the kind of person to apologize first. She's not a taking the first step towards mending bridges kind of person. Let's see. All things are connected through the Force. From such acts of kindness, great things may come.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. But you're not getting anything else out of me.
Okay, fair enough. Let's leave it then. Influence game. Good. Alright, so, I'm about to go to Onderon. So with that, I'm wondering who I should bring. Not actually sure. I mean, I could bring Bowder. I haven't brought him on a lot of things, and he is weak in combat. If you think keep talking to her, you can get her to unlock her Jedi training bus. Really? Well, give it another shot. Why
Yeah,
not?
something wrong?
There were some questions I wanted to ask.
Alright.
Where'd you get that rocket launcher? Actually, that's a good question. I actually want to know this.
Made it. It's custom for me, which is a good thing, because I wouldn't want anyone using it against me. I can show you how to make rockets, though, if you'd like. All it requires is a good skill with demolitions.
Cool.
Anything else you wanted to know?
That's about the restlessness. Yeah, I had some
Go
question
ahead,
for you.
ask.
You seem restless.
It's all this traveling, being trapped in the ship. Everything's...
Oh yeah, I tried this
everything's
before.
just too
My influence
quiet.
was too low. This is no smuggler's moon.
I'd rather be doing something, somewhere with people, activity, some life.
Like Nar Shaddaa.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been off planet. Guess I got used to it.
Used to Nar Shaddaa, is that possible?
Well, Nar Shaddaa may be one of the biggest cesspits in the galaxy, but it's got a life to it. Activity. Aliens, people, refugees. It's like noise, but relaxing. Like the hum of a hyperdrive.
Oh, again, cats? Rhea showed me how to listen to Nar Shaddaa once. How all life there is connected, is bound to each other.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far. I'll believe it when I see it.
Maybe one day I'll be able to show you.
No thanks.
Nah,
You can
not
keep your
yet.
Jedi training to yourself. I already know Nar Shaddaa better than you ever will.
Okay, I had some other questions. Alright, that's all. That's all for now. Okay, so yeah, I need higher influence for her. Which means I probably should bring... I guess, should I bring her and Bowder? That seems wildly unoptimized as a party, but it might be okay. I'm wildly overpowered at this point, so it might be fine. Can also gain influence by agreeing to Anda's bounty hunter quest on Onderon. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I think I remember that vaguely. It's been a little while. So you know this, presumably, probably better than I remember. What do you think I should bring? If I'm actually heading to Onderon now. Can't bring Aden, but wasn't gonna. I'm gonna bring Mira, see if I can gain some influence there. I was gonna be bringing Disciple, just because he's wildly powerful, or maybe Visas, because influence for her is good once you get to before getting to Nihilus. Or Bowder, because I do actually need influence for Bowder, apparently. What do you think? I'm open to suggestion. Skill-wise, between her and Mira, I'm pretty much okay. Oh, HK has good opportunities? I mean, I am doing a light side run, so I'm not going to be gaining a lot of influence with HK, honestly. Not a lot. Or Godo, for that matter, really. Still missing Mando. I forget when he joins. It's after Onderon, right? Not, like, right now? No, I still have to do Korriban, the droid planet, which I have the expanded, the restored content mod for the droid planet. And I still have a bunch of quests to do on Nar Shaddaa, and a couple on Dantooine. Basically, I rushed Nar Shaddaa to get the lightsaber components, then ran to Dantooine to finish assembling the lightsaber and get the crystal. Then rushed back, then I went back to Nar Shaddaa, did that thing with Godo to get Godo on the team. Now I'm going to Onderon to get Mando. Then I'll be going back to Nar Shaddaa for some side quests, and to Korriban, and then whatever. Droid planet. Mandalore joins right when you leave Dxun to go to Onderon. Oh, okay. A lot of opportunities to gain influence with Bowder on Nar Shaddaa and Dantooine. Oh, okay. I did some on Dantooine, so I got some influence with him on Dantooine. I'll bring him to Nar Shaddaa next time I go there for side quests. I'll bring him along. So for now, I think I'll bring Mira, Visas, maybe? I mean, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to replace somebody with Mandalore, right? He's in the party when I'm on Dantooine, when I'm on Onderon, right? I mean, I gotta level up Visas anyway. It's been a little while since I brought her. Discipler Bowder has an interesting conversation with a Republic spy you meet in the Onderon camp. That's right. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Oh man. I'll bring Disciple. I like Disciple. And he's really, really overpowered combat-wise. So yeah, I'll just go with this. This is kind of becoming my go-to party. Mira and Disciple. What? Mechanic. Lady Revan says, I like Krea's commentary when you take her to Onderon as well as Mira's. Interesting. I don't remember Krea. I almost never bring Krea on anything, because I almost always do light side runs of this game.
About time you showed up. Mandalore ordered me to report here and escort you wherever you need to go on Dxun.
Okay, let's go to your camp.
Follow me then.
On Dxun, okay. Mira's is good. I have enjoyed Mira's so far.
Damn it.
Alright, let's go. Save first, just in case I forgot to do anything or did anything dumb. Okay. Hey Mandalorian, let's go.
Are you ready to go to ISIS yet?
Let's go.
I'm going to talk with Zuka and have him start a shuttle flight check. After that, we'll head out.
Let's go.
How are the port stabilizers? They check out Mandalore. All systems are green. Good. I want the shuttle bound for Onderon within the hour. What do you want?
Is all in readiness?
It is. Like I promised. Why? You want to back out now?
My only concerns are for the one you escort to Onderon, Mandalorian. Would you do any less for one of your clan?
Don't pretend to understand us. We Mandalorians are a breed apart.
If by apart you mean scattered, broken, and lost, then yes, you are correct.
Not for long. Soon the Mandalorians will be strong again, united as one clan under one banner. Mine.
Ah, yes. The Great Crusade. After the first one was ended by Revan and the Jedi. Such a defeat was merciful, an echo of the end, when your ships were in flames, crushed in the grip of Malachor V. But I do not need to remind you of such things.
I was at Malachor
Rude.
V, and I remember how many Jedi died
Kreia.
to stop us there. And no matter how many dead orbit that planet, the Mandalorians still live. Clan Ordo still lives. See Kex there? He was serving on Nar Shaddai's muscle for the Hutts. Kelborn was a scout for the Duros on Frontier Worlds. I brought them here, gave them a purpose. This galaxy will be ours again, I promise you. That is the future.
Indeed. The future is always in motion. It is a difficult thing to see. Perhaps there will be no New Age Mandalore, no great Mandalorian crusade. Perhaps your people fought their last battle at Malachor V, and you have been dying ever since, a quiet death that will last centuries. And perhaps all that remains will be what I see before me. A man wounded by a Jedi, encased in a Mandalorian shell, hunted by the thought of being the last of the Mandalorians.
You've got some guts talking to me like that. You think your age or your Jedi whelp are going to keep you safe from me?
No, Mandalore, you are wrong. I hope that it is you who will keep the one I travel with safe. You are loyal, and you have served many masters, even when they abandoned you. Do you wonder where he wanders now, Mandalore? Why he gave you your orders, then abandoned you at the edge of the galaxy?
How do you know that?
I know many things, and I can answer the question that burns within your shell, Mandalore. But there is a price. You must keep the one I travel with safe. She is important to me, more important than anything. Show the same loyalty you have shown in the past, Mandalore. If there is a Mandalorian crusade, let it be for something that will carry your people's memory into the future. So when the time comes when there are no more Mandalorians, then at least their honor will remain. The one I travel with has walked your same path, and I ask that when the end comes, that you remember that kinship, even if it seems there is nothing else left.
Man, okay, so
Forget the Jedi. Keep your eyes on her.
yeah, good advice. All the trash I talk of Kreia, she really is brilliantly manipulative.
Mandalorians, we got company.
yeah.
Stealth targets are breached our
That's
perimeter.
right. I forgot about these guys. The Sith troopers.
Wait a moment. I sense there is a disturbance in the camp. Our enemy has tracked us here. I did not expect them so soon. How did they get here, I wonder? Regardless, we must eliminate them all. None of them can escape. Our whereabouts must remain a secret. Let us join the battle. Our allies will need our help.
Lady Revan said, I'm one of those people that use Canderous a lot in KOTOR 1, and I find it funny to see him being a jerk throughout that game, and then getting dissed by Kreia in this game. Yeah, that is a good that is quite a lot of fun. I'll give you that. What happened? What's happening? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Hello, assassins. What?
Seems trouble follows you on a regular basis. I think it's best for both of us if we head to Isis immediately. Grab your gear. My men will take care of cleaning up the mess.
What? Excuse me, what? Okay. I guess I'll bring Mira. All right, Mira, come on. Level 5. He needs to be leveled up a lot. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I need to bring Mira just so I can finish getting that influence because I want to get her to be a Jedi relatively soon. Yeah, that'll do. We're back.
Vaklu's saying that the Republic ship
Oh, it
attacked
skipped
first? That's madness!
Unfortunately, lie or not, it's a madness people will believe.
The timing of this is atrocious. A space battle above our skies, so many of our fighters lost?
Curiously, only Tobin's men were involved in that battle.
That shooter!
Strong word, Your Majesty. But there is no good time for news like this. I recommend we continue with our plan.
But won't that bring even more followers to Vaklu's side? Increasing his power?
For a time, perhaps. But we both know he's not the true threat. It's his unseen support from the shadows that we must drag out into the light. Then, and only then, can we strike.
I fear by then it will be too late.
This is getting to that fun part about the political stuff.
Here we are, the city of Isis. It's been shut down tight for months now. General Vaklu is close to declaring martial law. We won't be able to travel too far in the city. Fortunately, I have a friend in this quarter of the city. He's a doctor by the name of Dxun. His office is on the other side of the market square.
Well, those are some defense games.
It might be best if you do the talking around here. The Onderonians have a mixed view of Mandalorians after we conquered their world.
Okay. Okay, let's do some leveling. Okay, unarmed specialist, huh? That'll work. Powers. Alright, what do I want? Beast Confusion. Is it modifying charisma? Right? Again. Oh, ho. Yes. Actually, no. It'll be better to do this with people. Mind trick. Alright. Mandalore! You have a lot of leveling to do, so let's do this. He only has 2 skill points. Fine. Injury. And awareness. Nah, he needs demolitions. Screw awareness. That's annoying. That's dumb. Later Revan said, it's nice to see Canderous have a main role in the more of a role in the main storyline of the game in KOTOR 2. Yeah, he did not have a ton. I mean, that's not true. He had some. He had a good deal to do in KOTOR 1. Mostly in the beginning on Taurus, but his importance on Taurus is not to be understated. It's a pretty big deal. Companions don't need awareness. The main character has all the awareness needed. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let's see. Okay. Mobility. Nah. What's it recommend? 2-weapon fighting? No. God, no. He's a heavy weapons guy. He's not going to be using 2 weapons. He's going to be using a heavy weapon. Which means, because he's going to be using ranged weapons, I should go into spray and pray. That's what I should do. Attributes. Dex. I'll even out strength first. And then even out. I'll even out con, then I'll start upping dex. Skills. Demolitions. Feats. Master Power Blast. Lady Revan says, yeah, I felt like Canderous was important on Taurus and the Leviathan, but the rest of the enjoyment you got out of him was only if you choose to take him throughout the game. Yeah, for like dialogue stuff, he was cool. He had some nice dialogue things, but I mean, that was kind of it. Spray and pray. Upgrade my spray and pray. Alright, skills. Demolitions. Feats. Okay. Melee weapons, no. Toughness, maybe. Precise shot. go. Other than that, it mostly felt like Revan, Karth, Bastila, and sort of Jolee were the main characters. Yeah, it was pretty much Revan, Karth, and Bastila, and yeah, sort of Jolee, but only sort of. Like Jolee was even Jolee wasn't that big of a deal. All right, improve power attack. Okay, feats. Master power attack. Accept. Level up. Attributes. Even out our strength. Skills. Yeah, let's just demolitions. Let's just rack up that demolition score. It's gonna recommend 2 weapon fighting again. That's dumb. That's really dumb. Dumb. Toughness. Melee weapons. Yeah, let's go with melee weapons. Skills. Demolitions. Feats. Melee weapons. Level up. Skills. Feats. Toughness. Level up. Skills. Feats. Toughness. Oh my god. Dex. Skills. Demolitions. 3 injury. X. Feats. Oh god. Let me see. Sniper shot? Maybe sniper shot? No. Mobility. I kind of like the idea of him moving faster than normal. Increases the damage done by ranged weapons by 1. Yeah, I'll go precise shot. Why not? Or precise shot. Jesus. Attributes. Dex. Okay. Skills. Feats. Better precise shot. Accepts. Pull up. He can't become a Jedi, can he? I don't think. Right? Alright. Okay, no, he has to wear Mandalorian's armor. I figured. Self-heal, no. Can't you know what? No. Defense bonus. Dexterity? Yeah. Where's mask? Yeah, dexterity. Perception gloves. Infrared gloves, right? Okay. Implant. Immune critical hits. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. Let's see. Mandalorian melee shield. Mandalorian power shield. No. Nerve amplifier. Stealth field. Air 80 stealth unit. Yeah. Damn. Party regular. That's fine. Repeating blaster rifle. I bet I can do something better than that. Disruptor rifle. No. Repeating blaster carbine. Same thing, but worse. Heavy repeating rifle. Way better. And plasma projector. Can't be upgraded, but that's fine. That looks fun. Horseback. More hand cleaver. Heck yeah. Alright, that works for him. No, Canderous is not a Jedi. Yeah, I didn't think so. It would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. Alright, that'll do. That'll do equipment-wise. We'll do us. For now, at least. You technically got 2 Mandalorians in the party. Mandalore and Mira, since she was a Mandalorian with a Mandalorian family when she was younger. Oh, that's true. That is a good point. I almost didn't think of that. That'll work. Look at that. Nice. Here's my boy. His plasma projector. Lady Revan says it's refreshing to see characters like Canderous, T3, M4, HK-47 through Sword content mod get a bigger, more important storyline in the KOTOR sequel. Yeah, T3 was completely, like, nothing in the first game. He really was just the astromech. And he actually gets a good bit more.
It's been a while since you've docked here,
in this one.
I suppose the lockdown has hurt your profits as well. Oh, it must be hard to shuttle people when nobody's allowed to leave. The blockade has been bad for everyone.
This is hitting too close to home, guys. Yeah. There's a lockdown? I didn't know.
Your manifest says it's been 2 months since you last came here. It's become much worse since your last trip. Military checkpoints are everywhere.
Any news on the blockade?
Nothing new. Our space forces have been in full readiness ever since the space battle in orbit. Tensions are running high. All Republic vessels must be searched, and the delays are turning pilots grey before their time. And ever since the Republic fired on our space forces, things have been even slower. Bad days. And things are getting worse. I'd get out of the system quickly, if I were you, friend. Well, doesn't look like you have any trade goods, so the inspection's just a formality. Here's your starport visa. Don't lose it. They're priceless right now.
Priceless? Why?
If you want to leave the planet, you need a starport visa. They're very hard to get. Many people want to get out of here before things get worse.
How's the situation here on Onderon?
There's strict food and water rationing, and General Vaclu's troops have been very thorough in finding Republic dissidents. Bombing's very common.
Ooh, Lady Revan asks, what would you say is the best planet out of all the planets in both KOTORs combined? So I'm going to say, even with the restored content mod, I very much prefer KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2. That said, there's a lot to be said for Nar Shaddaa in this one. I don't like it as much, not because it's not well designed, because, good lord, it's well designed. And there's a ton going on there, and it's a lot of really interesting stuff. I just don't like Nar Shaddaa. I don't like Nar Shaddaa for the same reason that, like, nobody in universe likes Nar Shaddaa. It's all dirty and grimy and ugh. And again, mostly, I guess, in large part, for both for the quests and the story and also the aesthetics. I'm torn between Dantooine and Manaan from KOTOR 1. Both in KOTOR 1. Now, if we include Dantooine across both games, Dantooine hands down, because that's one hell of an overarching story that works really well together. But if we're limiting it to, like, separating KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, then Manaan manages to be very, very close, because Manaan is a really cool area, just the design and layout of things, and the aesthetics, and the everything about it is really well designed, really well put together. And then the quests are really cool. Really cool. I love the trial stuff. Both trials, really. All of that's really neat. And then the undersea element of it is really atmospheric, really deeply creepy, and it's got a good mystery to it, and a good investigation, and good spooky combat stuff. That said, Dantooine in KOTOR 1 is great. It's an amazing little hub world, especially considering that you sort of lose it at the end because it gets bombarded. So if I had to pick one planet... jeez. If I had to pick one planet overall, across both games, I'd probably go with Dantooine, if we're stretching it across KOTOR 1 and 2. If I'm going to go with one planet from one game, and I'm separating out Dantooine between KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, I think Manon has to take it. I think Manon has to take it. Yeah. Now, also, cool thing worth noting, some things worth noting, I guess. At this point, most of the planets from both KOTORs have made it into the Old Republic, into the MMO. Taurus, obviously, which is where characters go to die or go to be left and forgotten because it's a drudge in the Old Republic. So Taurus was there. I mean, obviously not Paragus because it was blown up, but not Telos. Actually, I think Telos might be the only planet from both games that hasn't been brought into SOTOR yet. Kashyyyk hasn't, which is weird. I always thought that would be like fertile ground for an MMO that everyone would want to. I mean, it was in Galaxies. In Star Wars Galaxies back in those days, like, everybody loved Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk was kind of the thing. I barely ever played Galaxies, and I went to Kashyyyk. Because of course you could. Of course you did. That was the thing. Kashyyyk was awesome. But yeah, no, I think those are the only two. Telos and Kashyyyk. Any other planet? I mean, Dxun, I guess. Technically, but Onderon is, so I guess that counts. Yeah, I don't... Are there any other planets that haven't made it? I mean, Malachor, but that got blown up twice, so no, that doesn't count. Oh yeah, Lady Revan says, I like going through the ruins of Dantooine a lot. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. That's actually something I've been looking for, because I'm also, worth noting, I've mentioned this like every week now, I guess. I'm running a tabletop RPG, a Star Wars tabletop RPG set in around 14 BBY, so 5 years after Clone Wars. And our crew is currently on Dantooine, and they're hunkered down, hiding out in, they're a bunch of criminals, basically. They're hiding out in the Jedi Temple ruins, and I really, really want to find a good map. A good, like, top-down tactical battle map of both floors from KOTOR 1 and 2 to use, or even from SOTOR might be fine, to use for the game. Because I want various insectoids to go after them. Maybe Lygrix. Those things are awful. That might be fun. But yeah, I want to try and find a good battle map of it, and I can't find a damn thing. I can find the in-game like map, but that's the start menu one, and it's really sketched. It's digital sketching. It's not like textured, and it's not environmental. But anyway, I would love to find that sort of thing. I really want to use it for. I really want to use it to torture my players with that. Anyway, and to get a good idea of like, oh hey, where's the crew staying, and that sort of thing. Yes. Okay. Yes, Erica. We're not criminals. We're just law impaired, which is ironic given that 2 of our players are lawyers. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. All right. Anyway, so Lady Revan also says favorites from KOTOR 1: Kashyyyk, Manon, Korriban. Favorites from KOTOR 2: Dantooine, Dxun, Onderon, Korriban, because of the Jedi Trials. That's true. The Jedi Trials there is. Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of tend to. I almost tend to forget about that. But yeah, that's a cool part. Isn't that like most of the planets, though? I at least tried to narrow it down. Come on. Oh, gosh. All right, I'll be going now.
Certainly.
I should have gotten ahead of this conversation already.
Visa. I know one captain already who can't get back into the starport.
Okay, Mitra Surik starport visa. Whoops. Okay. Lady Revan says, I know, it was hard for me to narrow. Yeah, I mean, it is hard to narrow down. There are most of them are really well designed.
Mandalorian occupation.
You know.
He's
They're a great pair of games. You come here, you are weak and scrawny without my powerful weapons and defenses. Special sale just for you. Oh, okay. Sure. What do you have to say? Dreams not allowed inside the city. Stupid Onderonians can't see my need for my weapons. People need my goods to defend themselves. But they say my goods are banned. All the killing implements are sitting here unused. But you get my special sale from Margar's Misfortune. Okay, let me see what you got in stock. Why not? Alright. Vibro Double Blade. Not bad, not bad. Armor. Cynigar Warsuit. Nah, not great. Dance Adrenaline Amplifier. Consciousness Helm. That's not bad. You just want to see if somebody else could narrow it. Well, I did my best. I did my best. Nothing great here. Let's see. Vibration Cell. No. Honestly, thermal detonators. Worth it. 2,400 credits. Worth it. Thermal detonators, man. Yeah. Ooh, biorestorative. Ooh, that might be worth it too. 1,400. Regen 3. Worth it. Cool. Yeah, that seems worth it to me. Ooh. Revan says, but I guess struggling to narrow it down to a particular all-time favorite is a testament to how great both games are. That is true. That's really true. I'll even say that SOTOR, if you think of it as KOTOR 3, is honestly a good successor. It's a good follow-up. It really is. I mean, I know it gets talked down a lot. I mean, because there was kind of supposed to be a KOTOR 3, and then there didn't turn out to be, and it got replaced with an MMO that was, an MMO. But the single player, not the single player. Oh, damn it. The class storylines of SOTOR are basically single-player games, and they're really good single-player games. I've played most of them, I think.
Is it too much to hope that you are a Telosian merchant?
Why do you ask?
These beasts you see here are for delivery to Telos.
Oh.
But the Republic vessels that transport them have to wait for thorough and needlessly long searches. So the city is stacked with caged beasts waiting for their ships. We have stopped gathering beasts now, but they still fill the city. For Drexel and Ryder, the Ithorians brought wealth and prosperity. Our settlements prospered, but now...
Your beasts seem restless.
They have been kept in their cages for a long time. But yet at times, I feel as if something else is affecting them. Frightening them. Perhaps it is the city itself. ISIS has fallen upon dark times, and tensions run high
look at
in
them
the streets.
Jittering down there. Why do you have so many beasts in cages?
These beasts you see here are for delivery to Telos, but the Republic vessels that transport them have to wait for thorough and needlessly long searches.
Oh, I knew that.
We have stopped gathering beasts.
I knew that. So, who are you?
I am a beast rider. I
Most
have flown
badass
great
faction in
distances
Star Wars.
gathering the animals you see here. We keep hoping that Ithorians or Telosians get through the Space Force's searches so that we can sell them.
Tell me about the Beast Riders.
Our people have been here for centuries, though we were not always one with the wilds of Onderon. In ancient times, our people were criminals, prisoners who were cast out of ISIS and sentenced to die by the beasts in the wilds. But our ancestors learned how to survive and even tame the mighty beasts. They became our strength and companions. We fought endlessly with ISIS for resources and survival. But 2 generations ago, an ISIS princess named Galia and a great beast rider hero, Oron Kira, married. They united our peoples. But now things are unraveling. Even the beasts can smell it in the air.
Lady Reverend says, I like how when you ask who he is, he says, I'm a Beast Rider, instead of giving you a name. Yeah, no, it's even worse. He's like, I'm a Beast Rider, and here's the full history of my people and how we reunited with the royal line of Onderon. Like, who talks like this? This is one of those things where it's like, every once in a while, I want to act like an NPC from an RPG and just talk like this. Like, give the history of my people. What, don't you want to talk about your physiology or something? How are things unraveling?
Many beast riders have fallen to the city ways, and some are now no more than common thugs. Queen Talia and her cousin General Vaklu argue in open councils. The beasts stir from the changes in the wind, and cannot be calmed, and we beast riders find it harder to enter the city each day.
Why is it harder to enter the city?
No one is to leave the city without the starport visas. It chokes passage in and out of Isis.
That's awful. What does Telos want your beasts?
Telos was attacked by Darth Malak in the Jedi Civil War. The surface was completely destroyed. The Ithorians have been searching for appropriate wildlife to create a new Telos, but their merchants are stalled by the blockade.
Alright, that's all I can do, I guess. I can't, like, just calm them or anything. Can't I just, like, beast calm? Do my horse thing?
Calm. Calm.
What?
Oh boy.
Run! The bomber is out of control!
Uh-oh. Beast trick. Stop it! Stop it! Darn it!
I don't know what to say. I had heard stories, but I assumed that they were fledgling riders, or simply tales that grow in the telling. Not since my first Drexel have I lost control of a beast. I apologize profusely. Here, I give you these credits for the danger I put you in.
Beasts often do this.
Absolutely not. But recently, things are not as they were. The beasts grow more agitated by the day. The stories say that the smoldering fires of city politics cast a smoke they can smell and breathe. They revert to their primal instincts. As you've just seen, when they get that way, not even a skilled beast rider can control them. As soon as I leave here, I will talk with my family. There is much to be discussed.
Interesting. Thank you for the credits. I'll be going now. Yeah, 500 credits. Okay, 500 credits is fine. Tame Boma. Tame Panic. Interesting how politics affect the animals. I assume the Force is involved. Because I know that there are Sith involved here, and I know that there are Jedi involved here.
Halt, off-worlder. You'll have to answer some questions before you go into the city. What is your business on Isis?
Can we skip the formalities? Looks like we're both in a bit of a rush.
Why not? I can see you have no crates or cargo, and your ship is obviously not affiliated with the Republic. You're free to go. Don't lose your starport visa, otherwise you won't be leaving for a long while.
God, there's a quarantine. The officials are wearing masks. God, this is hitting too close to home. You can mind trick the guys to get approval with HK. Really? I don't have them with me. So. Let's see. Vacuum soldier.
It disgusts me how many soldiers in other commands are willing to put aside their sworn duty.
Let's hurry this up. I want him escorted out to here quickly.
This is outrageous. I'm not a spy. I'm a journalist for Isis Calm.
You're a Republic spy, and your propaganda will be silenced. We are taking you back to our barracks for interrogation.
But, well, you can't be serious. You accuse me of propaganda? I have proof that Vaklu is withholding information on the so-called Republic.
One more word of treason out of you. What are you looking at? This is none of your business.
Please, ma'am, help me. Vaklu's troops won't listen. I'm just a journalist, not a spy.
It sounds like he's an actual journalist, too. Actually investigating and reporting on things like state secrets and trying to expose them. That's actually noble. Holy crap, a journalist who is a journalist? You don't see that every day. What's going on?
This spy has been using his position as a journalist to spread lies and dissent among our people. No doubt he's been up to other treasonous activity as well.
But that's just crazy. I was a member of the Resistance. I fought in the Mandalorian Wars.
Yes, and your disloyalty now deeply sickens me.
You have some sort of warrant?
A warrant? General Vaklu passed an edict giving the military broad authority to detain and question anyone suspected of treasonous activity. It was specifically meant for us to pick up spies like this before they could leave ISIS or go underground.
A journalist would be a poor cover for a spy. They're not well known for their discretion.
This is just because I try and expose the web of lies that...
Enough out of you! Perhaps this traitor is more of an agent provocateur, sent by the Republic to sow dissent in our ranks.
Really? That's not what an agent provocateur is. An agent provocateur is somebody who is embedded in a movement to try and make the movement look bad, to try and trigger disruptive actions rather than the purpose of whatever kind of organization, whatever the organization is. So an agent provocateur would be somebody who is, for example, pro-Vaklu, who is acting excessively rash, something like that. That would be an agent provocateur, not a Republic spy sent in to spread Republic propaganda. That's just a spy. Anyway, do you have any proof of this sort? Do you have proof? Have proof of any sort?
That is classified military information.
What the... How many other journalists are being rounded up today?
I don't have time to answer your barbed questions, off-worlder.
You have the wrong man, don't you?
I have the wrong man. Yes, you heard me right. We have the wrong guy, so let him go. But watch it, both of you. If I hear even a hint you're up to something, I'm coming back.
You better not try that on me, or you'll be picking shrapnel out of your guts.
I don't know how to thank you.
I wasn't got up, but okay.
I'm getting out of ISIS now. Eventually they'll come back for me. After that, I have a feeling no one will hear from me again. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good use of a mind trick, I'll say. Now let's see what else.
Please, Captain, help me. My children and I are desperate to get off of Onderon. Do you have an open starport visa?
What do you mean?
My husband was killed by General Vaklu's troops. Our home was seized, and we were cast out. We have seen many wars on ISIS, and I know war is coming. I want to spare my children from bloodshed.
Since you're not telling me something...
I've told you our story. Please, won't you help us?
You expect me to help you out, tell me the truth.
My husband, he was part of the ISIS Council. He was a strong supporter of the Queen and the Republic. His views weren't always popular. Over time, he became convinced that Vaklu was trying to kill Queen Talia. He tried to kill Vaklu. To protect the Queen. The conspiracy was discovered, and he was shot during the arrest. What he did was wrong, and our life has been so difficult since then. I just want to get off this planet and start a new life. Please, help us. No one else will.
I'll see what I can do. Maybe... I wish you could, with that, do something with that information. Like, I'm pretty sure there's absolutely nothing you can do with that information. Like, you can't go to the Queen and have her intervene or anything like that.
You have the look of someone used to adversity.
Wish you could.
A cut above the rabble around here. I have a business proposition for you. Everyone around here begs and pleads night and day for open starport visas. Very touching how well they act out their lies. Or truths. It doesn't matter, really. What does matter is credits. Hard currency. I offer you 2,000 credits if you find an open starport visa.
You won't find a better deal.
Credits. Okay, what can you tell me about the place?
Ask someone who cares about that. Isis has suffered for many years. The strongest of us are accustomed to it now.
Alright. See you later. Maybe. I'll think about it. Probably not. There's so many better things to do with an open starport visa than sell it for 2,000 credits. What's this? News hologram.
In the Council of Lords today, Lord Dashiell recommended a special commendation for Colonel Tobin due to his brilliant command of our armada in the skies above Onderon.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Him, Lord Dashiell said,
Shot me
the
down.
Republic attack would surely have done more damage. Tobin is one of Isis's greatest heroes and deserves recognition.
Wow. That was hardcore bullshit. Alright. Man. Let's see.
Welcome to what must be the smelliest place in the universe, Offworlder. How can I assist you?
I assume that's because of all the beasts sitting here pooping in gauges, but... Why are there so many beast cages around?
Ithorians have been buying them to help rebuild Telos. I don't know why, but ever since they started, the Beast Riders have been crawling out of the woodworks to sell them animals.
All right.
But the
Good
Republic
night, Lady
blockade
Revan. Thanks
has
for
meant
stopping
long
by.
delays.
See you next Monday.
Because of
We'll
that,
be doing the same
these
thing
cages
again.
are filling up the streets of Isis.
I'm going to be wrapping up in a few minutes anyway, so you're not missing too much, not to worry. So, what's that tower?
That's an air defense tower.
Wow.
The city's filled with them. Isis is an ancient city, and for many generations, our main enemy was the Beast Riders that lived outside the city. Towers like these were built to protect us against Drexel and their Beast Riders.
What's a Drexel?
A Drexel is a flying beast. Huge creatures with teeth the size of your arms.
Ooh.
Lethal, and skin like ferrosteel plates. Somehow the Beast Riders figured out how to tame them years ago.
Cool, but the Beast Riders aren't your enemies anymore. What happened?
About 50 years ago, Princess Gallia married one of the great leaders of the Beast Riders, Orin Kira. That was right at the start of the Beast Wars. By the end of it, Gallia was crowned queen, and finally there was peace between our people.
Are you still allies?
It's hard to put aside centuries of conflict. There's an uneasiness between our people. The Beast Riders are upset that General Vaklu has forbidden Drexel in Isis. Citizens usually only see the fallen Beast Riders, who know better than thugs.
Alright. Can I ask you about something else?
Certainly. Things are quiet right now. I have some time. What do you want to talk about?
A lot of soldiers around.
These are troubled times. You've probably heard that General Vaklu and Queen Talia are having some disagreements.
Yeah. What can you tell me about it?
I've been warned from command to keep my opinions to myself on that. So I've learned my lesson. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Ask around, though. There are plenty of people who'd like nothing more than to talk about it.
Yeah, that's respectable. How'd you get in trouble?
Times are too complex for a simple soldier like myself. Sometimes I made the mistake of answering questions honestly. If you say anything bad about a superior officer, they call that disrespecting the rank. Do that too many times and it's not long before you're a civilian.
Okay, who else can I talk to about what's going on in Isis?
The politics of the day is probably the most talked about subject in the city, and everyone wants to share their particular view of what's going on. Opinions are like Gizka around here. They breed like mad.
Alright, that'll be all. Thanks.
Stay out of trouble.
I won't. I will try, but I will fail. Inevitably.
We're gonna have to find another source of cheap fuel now that Paragus is gone.
You too? Everybody does, apparently. Jeez. Alright, couple more minutes. Gagoran.
Please tell me you're an off-worlder. You came from the spaceport, right?
Yeah, why?
But this is good news. You have a starport visa, right? I can only sell my best weapons if you have that.
Ooh.
These soldiers ensure that I don't forget these formalities.
Watch it, Keg. The captain already has enough complaints about you.
No need to be alarmed, my foreign friend. Pay the soldier no heed. Pretend he isn't here.
Sure. Let me see your stock then. Wait, why can you only sell to people with starport visas?
General Vaklu is concerned about well-armed insurgents. They've had to get arms from somewhere. Not from me, of course, but all sales of weapons have been severely restricted. I can only sell to off-worlders like you that have the proper clearance. And now off-worlders can't come here because of the blockade and searches, but it's a wise policy.
Oh my god, so you're happy about this then?
Of course, soldiers are only
Jesus.
doing their job. Even if it puts me out of business, I am happy. Even if I'm forced to live off scraps in the street, I am so happy to do my part. Long live General Vaclu.
Okay, so I am heretofore just gonna start referring to General Vaclu as Justin Trudeau, because it seems pretty fitting. Let me see your stock. I at least ought to patronize you a little bit. More of these. Mando heavy suit and light armor. Immunity D package. No. Bother perception. No, nothing actually good. Let's see. Life support packs. I could use these. Bond crystal, huh? Adds physical damage. Yeah, I'll take it. 1400. Yeah, fine. I shouldn't have bought that. That was a terrible mistake. All right, that'll do. Okay. So it is midnight, and that means it is time for me to call it quits. So quickly, let's save here. There we go. All right. So with that, thank you all so much for joining me. As you may have guessed, I'm not going to be streaming Kingdom Come on Thursday, given that it's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody in advance. And that means that the next time I'll see you guys on stream is next Monday, right here, continuing on KOTOR 2. So we're going to finish up here on Onderon. There's a lot to do here. Before we do, and then after that, we'll see. I honestly expect Onderon to take all of next stream, because this is quite the planet. I actually really like it. This is probably my favorite planet in this game, exclusive to this game, as I was saying. So there's a lot to do here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of political shenanigans and whatnot. So it should be a good time. It should be a lot of fun. So with that, I will wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving to you and yours, and I will see you all next week. So, with that, I'll wish you all a good night, and remember, don't be safe, be well, and more importantly, be good. Good night, everyone.